Towards the tail end of my last job, before I actually completely gave it up and concentrated on YouTube full time, we went through a few managerial changes. The individual that was my manager before my last manager, before I quit, his name was Al. And I knew that my time was very limited there. I don't know in that moment how long I had, but I knew my time was limited there. I was either going to quit under his watch, get fired, or have him move on to something else, then bring in somebody else, and then quit on that new manager. But Al was following everybody on Facebook and social media. And normally, when I work these retail jobs, I would voice my displeasure with something. For example, during the winter months here in New York City, especially if you're working in a retail environment, it's frowned upon when you don't make it to work. Now, I can understand an inch, 2 inches of snow, you can make it into work. Brace the fucking weather and go into work. But when there's 7, 8, 9 inches on the ground and your manager makes it into work, most of these retail environments, they expect you to follow suit. Well, if the manager made it in, then you can certainly make it in. No, motherfucker. No. A, nobody's going to be shopping in 9 inches of snow. If you are a fucking idiot. And you have absolutely no life. B, I don't give a fuck what the manager does. He's making XXYZ more than I am. He's supposed to be there. Me and my minimum wage fucking hourly pay. I gotta show up to the store because the manager's there? No, motherfucker. My Mustang is sitting right outside. Unless you want to pay for my fucking auto bill when I fishtail. And it's happened before. These places, they won't close the store. Yes, incoming 9 inches plus. AccuWeather forecast. By the time 6 p.m. rolls around, we should have an accumulation of over 10 inches. Meanwhile, we're sitting in the store and there's not one fucking snowflake falling from the sky. When are we going to close the store? When are we going to close up shop so I can get home safely? You know when they do it? They close the store when it's fucking 8 inches on the ground and I gotta fucking dig myself out of the parking lot and then drive home on a sheet of ice. These are things that I would voice my displeasure about on social media. Al would see it. Or if there was a shitty customer in the store and I had a bad day, or I feel worthless, like I usually do when I worked retail, I'd go home and I'd voice my displeasure on social media because it makes me feel good. Or I'd come on here on the podcast and explain whatever nightmare customer service story that I have, and I would feel a lot better. AKA the blue-haired cunt. Remember that one? Or the one with Otis faking the flu? Yeah, that was a good one too. Go fuck yourself, by the way. Anybody that walks into the store with a legitimate flu and wants to work around other people, you really deserve to be brought out back and just shot dead. Really. What I'm trying to get at here is no matter what job, and normally you can't really do that, but I didn't really give a shit. I was actually looking for a way for them to fire me because I really didn't give a fuck. I didn't give a fuck. Normally when we voice our displeasure about something or a company that we're working for, it generally means that we're looking for new avenues in career or new avenues in life. And we're just looking for a reset button. We're looking for a refresh. Dolph Ziggler is like me. He's like me. I worked retail. I hated it. He works for WWE. He's unhappy. He clearly is unhappy. He wouldn't have went on Edge and Christian's podcast and voiced displeasure about being a glorified jobber on SmackDown Live. Now, I might come off as selfish here, and I am in no way taking a dig at Dolph Ziggler. I actually like Dolph Ziggler. I think Dolph Ziggler is one of the most underrated talents to come around the WWE in a very, very long time. I think Dolph Ziggler is one of the best in-ring performers in the entire company. I think this guy has been highly underutilized for his entire WWE run. You know, I went back and I watched his Money in the Bank cash-in on Alberto Del Rio. What happened to that Dolph Ziggler? Why was everybody so invested in that Dolph Ziggler? And WWE seemingly didn't give a shit. They didn't realize what they had in Dolph Ziggler there. And they still don't realize what they have in Dolph Ziggler. I never heard a bigger pop in that moment when he cashed in that Money in the Bank briefcase. I mean, that whole fucking place just caved in. That was one of the biggest moments on Monday Night Raw in its history. That was actually ranked very high in the top 100 moments of Monday Night Raw ever. Rightfully so. I don't understand why Dolph Ziggler doesn't have enough respect for himself to just walk away when we all know that he's unhappy. I might sound selfish in saying this, but I honestly think that Dolph Ziggler made a very, very poor business decision. I'm not here to tell him he made a wrong decision because I don't know what the man is feeling. I don't know what genuinely makes the man happy. If working for the WWE makes him happy, then God bless him. Because there's a lot of people out there who are miserable doing what they are doing 9 to 5 Monday through Friday. In some aspect, I respect Dolph Ziggler for staying with the WWE. I really do. It shows how loyal of an individual he is. And that's very difficult to come by. You know, when Tom Glavine left the Braves for the New York Mets, I really didn't give a fuck about Tom Glavine anymore. I always thought Tom Glavine was a Brave through and through. I thought he was a lifer. And then he got up and didn't want to re-sign with the Braves. He went to the fucking New York Mets. The fuck did he do over there? He didn't do jack shit with the Mets. We got Tom Glavine in his prime. You got Tom Glavine ailing and aging. He really didn't do shit for New York. I always think about that. You know? Loyalty. Dedicated. You didn't see Chipper Jones get up and go to a different team. You didn't see John Smoltz get up and go to a different fucking team. Right? Loyalty is very difficult to come by. In some aspect, I respect the fuck out of Dolph Ziggler for staying with the WWE. That must have been a very, very difficult decision to think about. Obviously, the man weighed his options. Stayed with the company. Is comfortable. He's got friends in WWE that he didn't want to leave. He's happy enough to help the company out in every which way they need him. And he just doesn't care. He just doesn't care. In some aspect, like I said, I respect that he didn't want to walk away and go somewhere else. But as a fan, as someone who has a pretty keen eye for professional wrestling, I am going to be selfish and think and say, you know what, I think Dolph Ziggler made the wrong decision. The guy is capable of so much more that he could have went anywhere else, hit the reset button, rebranded himself, follow the same road that Cody Rhodes went down, build his brand, become a brand new person, put himself in a spotlight in which WWE might look differently on him in 2 or 3 years, bring him back, and then finally, at the age of 40, WWE would give him the opportunities that he should have been given 6-7 years ago. Sometimes it's not your time. But it's up to you to walk away from what is not making you happy in this industry. Go find it somewhere else. And then come knocking on that familiar door again and be given a different opportunity. A little wiser, a little older, a little world traveled. I don't understand why Dolph Ziggler resigned with the WWE when the man is capable of achieving stellar heights in the wrestling industry. It boggles my mind how he's settling for WWE. And I'm not here, like I said, to fucking rip into Dolph Ziggler. I'm not going to criticize him for making this decision. I don't know why the guy doesn't have enough respect for himself in his ability to do this thing we all love called professional wrestling and show the world what the guy is capable of. Dolph Ziggler is exactly what Kenny Omega stated. Kenny Omega doesn't want to come to the WWE unless he is the man the company is going to build itself around. Kenny Omega doesn't want to come into the WWE and settle and be comfortable and collect a paycheck and work for the WWE for the sake of saying, I work for the WWE. Dolph Ziggler is everything that Kenny Omega said he doesn't want to be. Dolph Ziggler is comfortable. Dolph Ziggler is content. Dolph Ziggler wants a paycheck. That's all he cares about. And he's going to go about getting that paycheck in the easiest, most familiar way possible. Like I said, I'm going to be selfish. The guy is worth so much more than what WWE is doing with him now. And I'm actually disappointed that the guy thinks so lowly of himself to not walk away and experience something else outside of WWE and take a chance on himself. I took a chance on myself by quitting retail last year. And here I am 1 year later. You know, there are negatives that come with the job, but if I didn't take a chance on myself, I won't be able to give myself the life that I want. I wouldn't have been able to see things a lot more clearly that I didn't see in past years. And I'm a lot less stressful work-related. And I've given myself an opportunity to do the things that I love, broaden my horizons, work on new partnerships, work on new friendships, and get myself out there doing other things besides YouTube. I took a chance on myself, and this platform can crumble at any given moment. Videos demonetized at any given moment. I don't know why Dolph Ziggler doesn't believe in himself to achieve the same level of success we all know that he can have somewhere else. The guy is okay with being a glorified jobber. The guy is okay putting other people over when he is the veteran of this company, and people should be the ones in matches with him, and he should be the one going over. Dolph Ziggler should be the one going over, not putting other people over. I don't know how the guy can sit there and feel embarrassed about how WWE is utilizing him. Guy wins the United States Championship. Guy relinquishes the United States Championship 48 hours later. We don't hear from him for 7 weeks. He goes back into the Royal Rumble, shows up miraculously out of nowhere with no explanation, is eliminated in 90 seconds, and then there's no explanation as to why he came back. And then all of a sudden, he's being put in a number one contendership, or not a number one contendership, but he's being given an opportunity to fight for the WWE Championship at Fastlane in a match with Baron Corbin. How can you sit there and be Dolph Ziggler and be okay with that illogical garbage? You don't think you deserve better than that? You don't feel like you're being treated like a blithering idiot? No, but as long as you're getting a paycheck, you're okay with that. That's the only part I don't respect. And I don't want to come off sounding selfish because the guy wants to do what he loves to do and get paid for it. But the guy's worth so much more. The guy is so much better than what he is doing right now. Dolph Ziggler resigns with the WWE. This has been an ongoing topic in the world of professional wrestling. What is Dolph Ziggler doing? Where is he going? We didn't know. It was a mystery up until yesterday. Dolph Ziggler has been a pivotal member of SmackDown Live. Straight after the brand split, he got thrown right into that Intercontinental Championship feud with The Miz, which was and is one of the very best things that this guy has done in his entire career. Same with The Miz. The Miz has never looked any better than he did in 2016 with Dolph Ziggler. All these people claiming that, The Miz is bringing prominence back to the Intercontinental Championship. Some fucking silly record that The Miz broke the other day. combined days as Intercontinental Champ. Who the fuck cares? This is what we're looking at now. Combined days as Intercontinental Champion? Well, I didn't know that makes a great Intercontinental Champion. No. I don't give a shit if you're 8-time, 9-time, 10-time, 20-time, 50-time Intercontinental Champion. That doesn't make you one of the greatest Intercontinental Champions of all time. That only means you lost it 49 other fucking times. The Intercontinental Championship now, compared to 2016 when The Miz had it, and him and Ziggler feuding, the title has not looked better since that feud. The title has actually looked fucking miserable since that feud on SmackDown Live. Ziggler and The Miz made the Intercontinental Championship. Because whoever was writing SmackDown Live at that point obviously had a brain. But he's been a member of SmackDown Live after the brand split, competing for the WWE title at SummerSlam 2016. Didn't do anything for me. That match with Ambrose was terrible. And a memorable feud with The Miz for the Intercontinental Championship where he put his career on the line. Ziggler is a veteran of the company. After 13 years, he's been a caddy for Chavo Guerrero. He was even a tag team champion as part of the male cheerleaders called the Spirit Squad. Although he is a two-time world champion in WWE, the 37-year-old Ziggler has never really had the trigger pulled for a run in the main event scene. After Survivor Series 2014, where he was the last man standing as Sting debuted and assisted John Cena's team, Ziggler had all the momentum in the world after pinning Seth Rollins. But instead of catapulting him towards a Royal Rumble win, the WWE opted to run an angle where he was fired. Great way to kill somebody's momentum. Win the fucking Survivor Series for John Cena's team, have Sting debut and assist you, and you outlast all of the authority by pinning Seth Rollins. What did WWE do? Fired him, along with Eric Rowan and whoever else was on John Cena's team. Ryback, I believe. Ridiculous. Yeah, Dolph Ziggler could look back on all this and say, yeah, give me the dotted line, I'll sign again. Ziggler returned from a brief hiatus to enter the Royal Rumble as the surprising number 30 entrant. And he is now in a number one contenders match for a space in a fatal four-way for the WWE title at Fastlane. However, it seems a development with his contract status was the reason why. According to the independent wrestler Ben Hacker, well, let me rephrase that. I don't know who the fuck this guy is. According to the independent wrestler Ben the Hacker Hamin, never heard of him before, nor do I care. This was on a recent edition of the Locker Room podcast. Ziggler has re-signed with the WWE. Take this with a grain of salt. I'm only reporting it because it was in the news. This is what this guy, the hacker, has to say. And I quote, "Here's the inside scoop that I've kind of been told. After Ziggler laid down the title and went away for 30 days, silently came back as number 30 in the Royal Rumble, and then tossed out kind of useless, he was already kind of out of the WWE, pretty much with 2 feet out the door. And it was at the 11th hour that they made him another offer that he could not refuse. Big money, and the fact that now he'll stay, he's willing to put over anybody, do jobs, whatever, on TV, and he can leave after his matches. He doesn't need to stick around the arena or the locker room, and he can take outside projects as long as they don't conflict with his schedule. It's kind of a sweetheart deal. I'm willing to stay a little bit longer because you met my price." End quote. It's no secret that Ziggler is a stand-up comic in his spare time, and he would like to do more of that, but when venting his frustration with his position in the company on Edge and Christian's podcast, it all seemed that it was about creative and not about the money. This is what I don't understand. He was tired of losing, and he signed on for X amount of years to continue being a loser. When we all know Dolph Ziggler is not a loser. I hate seeing talented people go to waste. I do. being a play-by-play commentator for House of Glory, just watching professional wrestling for over 30 years, hearing all the inside scoops, hearing all the dirt sheets and the backstage talk about political bullshit going on about why this guy isn't being pushed or why this guy is being pushed. Dolph Ziggler has all the talent in the world to be the very best in this industry, at least one of them. Why he didn't take a chance on himself to go give himself a lighter schedule, to go give himself probably more free time away from wrestling to do whatever he wanted to do, to stay on with the WWE, to be a loser, to be a jobber, to be a jobber for when Aleister Black comes up and needs a first feud, to be a jobber when Ricochet comes up and he needs a first feud, to be a jobber for Andrade Cien Almas when he comes up for his first feud, to be a jobber for when Adam Cole comes up and he needs a first feud. Is this what we're going to remember Dolph Ziggler by? A glorified jobber to the NXT stars coming up who are going to pave the way and create the future for WWE, when Dolph Ziggler, he himself, should be a fucking centerpiece of the future of WWE? Pardon me for being selfish, but I fucking hate seeing talent wasted. Ziggler should be at the AJ Styles level. And if WWE's job is to not put guys in that position, then I don't know what the fuck they're doing. WWE's priority should be making main event talent. They just want to keep people from going somewhere else and working somewhere else, making a name for themselves somewhere else outside of WWE, and generating buzz outside their company. So they give Ziggler a sweetheart deal and money that he can't refuse to be a fucking loser. I respect Dolph Ziggler for being dedicated, but I don't respect Dolph Ziggler for not taking a chance on himself and going out and giving us the real fucking Dolph Ziggler that we know exists somewhere in this vessel, like Matt Hardy would say. Take a chance on yourself, man. Could have worked with the Elite. You could have went to New Japan. You could have went to fucking Ring of Honor. Still could have did your comedy. Could have made your money. I don't get it. I really don't understand it. I want to hope that I want to hope that this is a fake news story. Bin the Hacker Hamin, whatever the fuck this guy is, whoever he is, whatever podcast he works for, I don't know. But we'll see as the weeks and months go on. The reason why WWE gave Dolph Ziggler the United States Championship, I don't know. If you knew the guy's contract was over, why did you give him the title? Why did you give this guy the United States Championship if he already had 2 feet out the door? Why did you put him in the Royal Rumble if he had 2 feet out the door? If you were going to make him a deal to stay, he was better off of television. Bobby Roode should have won the title back in that triple threat match. Your one mistake giving Ziggler the title when his contract was about to expire, ultimately to just give it up, ruined all the plans. It made things feel worse. It made television worse on Tuesday nights. No, but Ziggler's happy about being around all that inconsistency and illogical booking and creative. Goes on Edge and Christian's podcast, complains about creative, and then resigns again for how many years just to be around that same shitty creative. You know? The more things change, the more they stay the same. I guess Ziggler is okay with things being the same as long as he's getting the green. I can't respect that. Take a chance on yourself, because we all know what you are absolutely capable of doing in this business. This is Off the Script. This is episode 208. Part number 3 for your Sunday. We're going to wrap things up here on February 11, 2018. I also have news on WWE reportedly planning another tournament this year. I also have news on Tyler Bate. Does he have heat with WWE management? Booker T and Corey Graves was all a fucking work. And also, I have news on Matt Hardy owning the Broken Universe trademarks. All that right here on part 3 as we wrap up your wet New York weekend here, right here on episode 208, part number 3 of Off the Script. Let's hit the intro. I'll see you guys on the flip side, and we'll talk about the rest of the news this weekend right here on Off the Script. You know, a lot of people ask me why I didn't cover the Booker T and Corey Graves situation. And quite frankly, the reason why I didn't cover it is because I didn't care about it. That's not news to me. Someone who I didn't enjoy listening to on Monday Night Raw on commentary, feuding with someone who I do enjoy listening to, that lends itself to doing nothing as far as wrestling news goes, or lends itself to any storyline progression on TV, why would I care? Why would I care? You know, for everybody coming up in this YouTube thing, and for everybody that wants to buy a microphone and pretend like they're somebody important, most of the time when news breaks, and I learned this early on, and I've stuck by it, only if it's like massively big and people definitely want to hear my opinion on it, like Kurt Angle coming back and wrestling at TLC, or Roman Reigns getting busted for steroids and being suspended, something like that. I can understand me getting right on here and giving my 2 cents. But only when news breaks on something, first people out there getting the news out there or getting opinion out there, it's not going to do anything. It's not going to do anything. First doesn't always mean the best. I'd rather get to the party late, present you guys with facts, and then I can enhance my opinion even more. What happened with this Corey Graves situation with Booker T? Wrestle Talk, What Culture, Cultaholic, Brian Zane, Justin LaBar, everybody got trolled. Everybody got worked. You didn't hear one fucking peep out of me on Twitter or anything about this situation saying that, oh my God, Booker T and Corey Graves are feuding, blah, 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 blah. I didn't mention it once. You want to know why? Because it's irrelevant news. It's irrelevant news. We got bigger things to tackle here. And what happened as of yesterday? Corey went on Booker T's show, and it all was a work. They were laughing about it. We were just pretending, to make a big deal out of something when nothing was really there. It was just me and Booker T just acting like we normally do, and it kind of blown out of proportion, and whatever. I don't know why they didn't continue it then, to keep everybody fucking trolled. I didn't care. The reason why I didn't talk about it was because it wasn't news, and it wasn't big enough, and I wasn't going to fall for the bullshit. So, there you go. Not going to talk about it. That's my reason for not covering it. There you go. I'd rather be right than get myself a couple of thousand views. Doesn't mean anything to me. This is Off the Script, episode 208, part number 3, Sunday, February 11, 2018. We're going to go over a few things today. Very short episode, not much as far as content goes, because I ran through everything pretty much on Friday and Saturday. If you guys missed yesterday's video, which I'm assuming you did, because the numbers compared from Friday to Saturday are almost like half. I'm letting you guys know right now, I will never, ever, 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 no matter if it's a Raw, a SmackDown, I'll find something else to talk about. No matter if it's Raw, SmackDown, NXT, Off the Script, I am never making anything about a female topic ever again on this channel. Ever. Ever. Triple H taking over 205 Live, and Triple H getting more power in WWE. On Friday, Off the Script did fantastic. Almost 1,400 likes. Real-time views are like 23,000. I upload yesterday's video. Before it even published, it was demonetized. Because Ronda Rousey's name was in the topic. Stephanie McMahon's name was in the topic. Ronda Rousey was on the thumbnail. And then it took a full 17 hours for the video to get remonetized. I will never talk about another female topic on this channel ever again, because anytime that I do, it is always demonetized, as if they think I'm going to talk negatively about women. Go fuck yourself, YouTube. Fuck you. Not falling for your fucking political bullshit ever again. So that's the end of that. If Ronda Rousey's a big story, I'm gonna fucking spell it differently. If it's a big enough topic, I'm gonna have to fucking put asterisks or something where the name Ronda Rousey isn't spelled out in the topic. It's ridiculous. I can't even feature a thumbnail of a woman before it gets flagged. taking money out of my pocket, taking food off my plate because you're afraid of what I'm going to say about women? Bullshit. Listen to the fucking video. Nothing I said was out of line at all. Automated reviews. That's your fucking problem. Never again. But if you guys missed yesterday's video, Friday and Saturday, live on the channel right now, please check the annotation in the top right corner of the screen and go support Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and my Off the Script Extra covering 205 live and Triple H taking over. That is on the channel as of this week as well. Thank you guys so much. Follow me on Twitter at JDFROMNY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications. YouTube went back to the default settings, so you guys probably need to double check on that. Check the bell and make sure that you have all uploads notified, because YouTube went back to just giving you guys the highlights of the channel and not pushing all uploads. So please check that out. If you guys want to support the podcast through our sponsors, you guys know the deal. Harrys.com/script. Make sure you guys check that out. Free trial shave set on the house. All you guys got to do is pay shipping and handling. Harrys.com/script. Audible giving you guys one audiobook and 30 days free of their service still. Make sure you guys go and check that out. audibletrial.com/offthescript. barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. I was actually coming up with ideas and researching ideas for a new Negan design. So I think I got one in mind, man. It should be cool right before WrestleMania. But if you guys want to get the old JD's Negan shirt, the best seller that we've ever had, I even had non-wrestling fans, people that I know personally, buy the shirt because they just thought it was cool. So barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. If you guys want to support through the Patreon page because YouTube sucks, patreon.com/JD from NY206. WWE needs new social media team. That's what I think. Look at this fucking photo. WWE puts this on their website and they immediately take it down minutes later. They title it, "Who will survive the Elimination Chamber to face the Beast at WrestleMania?" I thought there was a fatal four-way last chance on Monday night. Seems like WWE seemingly has all 6 members confirmed, according to the website. There we see The Miz and Roman and Cena and Braun and Elias. Well, who's that? Finn Balor. Isn't he one of the 4 men on Monday Night Raw in that fatal four-way match? Well, WWE might have leaked the winner on Monday night, as if we didn't know already what was happening. WWE might have accidentally spoiled the 6th participant in the men's Elimination Chamber match. For those out of the loop, Braun Strowman, Elias, John Cena, Roman Reigns, and The Miz have already qualified for the match. On Raw this coming Monday, Bray Wyatt, Matt Hardy, Finn Balor, and Apollo Crews, who steps out of the shadow of Titus Catering, you know, because he's fucking one of those guys that loves presenting his world-famous mashed potatoes. Apollo Crews will be competing in the Last Chance Fatal 4-Way for the final spot in the Elimination Chamber match. On WWE.com, a photo of Finn Balor, which you've seen, briefly appeared on the graphic for the match. This indicates that he will likely be the one to win the match on Monday. It was quickly removed by WWE, but some fans were able to catch it. Finn Balor is only in there for 2 reasons. One, WWE had to find a way to get John Cena in the match, and that was at the behest of Finn Balor. They realized that Finn Balor needs to be in the match because there really is nobody else, so they're doing a last chance. Nobody believes in Bray Wyatt. Nobody believes in Matt Hardy. And more than likely, those two will be facing off at the Elimination Chamber in some type of match. Apollo Crews clearly does not belong with the rest of these individuals, so Finn Balor is the only one. Secondly, Finn Balor being in the Elimination Chamber can easily set up a feud, or the beginning stages of a feud, with The Miz. So that is what that is, and I hope WWE goes down that road, and we do get The Miz versus Finn Balor at WrestleMania for the Intercontinental Championship, with Finn Balor finally being at WrestleMania and getting gold around his waist since the last time we seen him when he had to relinquish the Universal Championship. That would be nice. The Miz versus Balor is a better match than The Miz versus Strowman, which has been rumored for weeks now for WrestleMania 34. And being that Balor has the Balor Club, it all makes sense that The Miz has the Miztourage and the Balor Club, 3-on-3. You can build some story over the next couple of weeks. It's better than what we get with Braun Strowman, believe me. Now, a lot of you guys are saying, well, Jason Jordan was supposed to be there, but he's hurt. We got WWE, just lingering around with Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins could have been put in that. Seth Rollins right now doesn't really factor into the Elimination Chamber. You're not going to take him from the Tag Team Championship situation and a storyline with Jason Jordan and put him in something that really has no business being in. I love me a Seth Rollins, believe me. I think Seth Rollins has been the one guy coming out of WrestleMania 33 that has been probably the best in-ring performer on Monday Night Raw. I think Seth Rollins is capable of doing and getting back to the heights that we did see him at. And I'd love to see Seth Rollins become successful on Monday Night Raw. A potential move to SmackDown Live as well. I think we've seen all we could of Seth Rollins on Monday Night Raw. But a lot of people are asking me, and a lot of people have asked me this week, JD, what would you do with Seth Rollins at WrestleMania if Jordan is going to miss WrestleMania, which is probably likely? If Jordan misses WrestleMania, they were definitely setting up Jordan versus Rollins. It was supposed to be Rollins versus Ambrose, but Ambrose is going to be missing WrestleMania. And Ambrose missed out on that heel turn, which would have been epic. What do you do with Rollins at WrestleMania? Well, if Rollins had a problem with Jordan, WWE can easily rewrite the storyline if Jordan is not there, where Rollins can feud with Jordan's father at WrestleMania. How many of you guys would love to see a Seth Rollins versus Kurt Angle match at WrestleMania? I think I'm in on seeing those two go at it. I think that would be a fantastic match. I originally proposed an idea of maybe Rousey and Angle versus Triple H and Stephanie. I came up with the idea of Braun Strowman and Ronda Rousey versus Triple H and Stephanie McMahon at WrestleMania. Trying to find a partner for Ronda Rousey, being that I don't want her, or I don't think it's the right idea to put her in a singles match at WrestleMania. We all know WWE wants The Rock. The Rock, if The Rock does come back to wrestle at WrestleMania, which is probably unlikely, it would make WrestleMania all that much better because it gives Ronda a perfect partner. You could do Joe versus Strowman. You can do Angle versus Rollins. You could do The Miz versus Balor. I mean, everything, with The Rock coming back, it aligns everything perfectly. With The Rock not coming back and you having to find somebody to team with Ronda Rousey, I would rather see Angle and Rollins, being that it makes sense storyline-wise, and then put Braun Strowman with Ronda Rousey, being that Triple H and Braun Strowman had this thing, and then you can, dating back to Survivor Series, and then you could probably play off the fact that Braun Strowman was given his job back by Stephanie McMahon, and he's just disobeying orders again. So it kind of plays into the fact of that storyline as well, and then Triple H gets involved, and he puts his 2 cents in on that. I think that would make sense. And then Joe, what do you do with Joe? I don't know. I really don't know. If you want somebody to win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, and as per rumors go, the winner of the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal is going to get a big push this year, why not have Samoa Joe win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal? I don't want to see him in there because I think it's beneath him, but what else do you do with Samoa Joe on Monday Night Raw? There'd be literally nobody else to win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. There'd be nobody else to feud with Samoa Joe on Monday Night Raw. Jeff Hardy coming back would alleviate a lot of this pain too. We could have had Jeff Hardy versus The Miz for the Intercontinental Championship. We could do Balor versus Joe, being that they had a feud that seemingly went unfinished. Some of these injuries that happened to the WWE. Jordan being injured, Ambrose being injured, Hardy being injured. These are key injuries from Monday Night Raw, in which fucked up a lot of plans. And went from Rollins and Ambrose to Rollins and Jordan, and now we're still trying to find someone for Rollins at WrestleMania. It's ridiculous. I think Angle versus Rollins is probably the safest bet here. Because WWE, they gave Angle the green light to wrestle. He's wrestled twice since being back. Why not at WrestleMania, if it makes sense? And then Jordan can come back, and he can turn heel on his father, and then they can continue that feud. And then when Ambrose comes back, it might be too little too late. Nobody might even care at that point. But WWE, they really didn't accidentally spoil anything. We kind of all assumed that Finn Balor was going to win this match anyway. The Eater of L's is not going to win. He's going to be too busy with JoJo's fat ass, man. And, Apollo Crews, he ain't going to be in that match. Why would he be? He ain't playing with the big boys. WWE's not positioned him to play with the big boys yet. And Matt Hardy, I love me some Matt Hardy, but he's not even in that position yet to be with these guys. So Balor is the only choice, and it sets up a feud within the chamber with The Miz towards WrestleMania for the Intercontinental Championship. WWE, they should consider themselves lucky this year. At least this isn't WrestleMania 30 when half the 31 or 32 rather. I'm sorry. At least this isn't WrestleMania 32 where half the fucking roster was decimated with injuries and we got that piss poor fucking worst ever WrestleMania of all time. And they didn't give a shit about rewriting anything. Yet they still could have done something great with that WrestleMania, but refused to do so. At least they're not in that position. They still have pieces right now in which they can still give us a WrestleMania that makes sense, unlike they did at WrestleMania 32. I'm hoping that they do. So we'll see what happens. Moving on here. WWE reportedly planning another tournament this year, but according to William Regal, that is not the case. William Regal came out on Twitter, says that he only uses this for, storyline reasons. He doesn't really meddle in the news or rumors, right? He came out and says that there is no tournament being planned as of right now. But reports early this week, the WWE Tour of Chile was a success for the company. It looks like there are more plans in store for WWE in the Latin market. As first reported by Planeta Wrestling, there are plans to run a tournament featuring Latin stars, and William Regal will be involved with the production. He is regularly on the road scouting talent for WWE, so that is probably what he will be doing there. The plans are to run the tapings in Chile by the end of August and will feature talent from Chile, Peru, Argentina, Mexico, Brazil, and other countries. I find it very interesting that August is the plan because that would be the time when they would run the Mae Young Classic. Perhaps there are no plans for another Mae Young Classic this year. There is no word on what the plans are for the winner. Example, an NXT contract or plans for a South American Championship. But this tournament will likely get a ton of hype on WWE TV because this is another attempt to look for a Latin superstar because a larger percentage of their fan base in the United States is Latin America. That is something that Vince McMahon has wanted for years, and that was the plan for Alberto Del Rio before that seemingly fell apart. It should be noted that Andrade Cien Almas is getting a mega push in NXT, and there is talk of Rey Mysterio coming back to the WWE. Mysterio said during an interview with The Mirror on Monday that there is a strong chance he will be back in the WWE. This could be the very reason why Andrade Cien Almas has been featured so heavily and been booked brilliantly on WWE television. Maybe, they want to make their guys right now on their roster look as strong as possible, maybe for inclusion in this tournament, or the fact that they want everybody to take guys like Almas and obviously Rey Mysterio or whoever else fits that Latin mold seriously on WWE television. WWE's worldwide expansion is just not limited to Latin countries. There are still plans for a UK exclusive TV show. I don't see the point anymore. The idea for the UK show is to get a TV deal instead of airing the show on the WWE network. There are also plans to eventually expand to other countries such as China. So another tournament for me. Obviously, you guys know how I love that. And I don't know what the winner would get as far as the winner of this tournament. I don't really want another championship in the WWE. The more championships that are introduced, the less valuable they become. WWE could just do this as an invitational. But whoever wins this, obviously, I think a WWE contract is more than anything. That should be enough for the winner. A trip to NXT, inclusion in NXT, have the finals take place, and then give him a WWE contract, invite him to the Performance Center, make him a big deal on NXT television. Whatever the case may be, another championship is just out of the question for me. It's not what I would do. But another tournament, I love tournaments. You guys know how I feel about that. I think it would be great. I love, learning about new talent. I love seeing new superstars that I've never seen before. And WWE has their love for tournaments seemingly continued. The Dusty Classic is coming back. Reportedly news on a Latin American tournament. WWE is probably going to bring back the Mae Young Classic again, if not this year, next year. I'd love to see a tag team class. I would actually love to see the Dusty Tag Team Classic expanded to a WWE Network only special, like the Cruiserweight Classic. I'd love to see another Cruiserweight Classic. WWE's love for tournaments makes you wonder why they're not bringing back King of the Ring. Maybe with Vince gone, maybe we'll get King of the Ring coming back to WWE television, because Vince hates tournaments. This is all Triple H, William Regal, and Triple H's camp. But you know me, I'm excited about it. Hopefully it happens. We'll see what happens. If I hear anything else, I'll let you guys know right here on the podcast. We have news on Tyler Bate. Apparently he might have heat with WWE management, but this is according to Dave Meltzer, so tread lightly. Tyler Bate seemed to be on a roll last year as one of the top wrestlers in the mix for the United Kingdom Championship. However, in recent months, he's been treated as an afterthought. Last week, he was brought to 205 Live so he could lose to TJP in the opening round of the new Cruiserweight Championship tournament. On Sunday's Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer said that there is heat on him. Meltzer said Tyler Bate lost 4 matches this week. He went 0-4. He went from being the guy that they were grooming for the UK for the future, and he has fallen out of favor. So, 1 bad week, and according to Meltzer, he's fallen out of favor. Just wrong place at the wrong time, Dave. How about that? He continued, he lost the title to Pete Dunne, and there was a situation where they had a tour. They, at the last minute, wanted to book him on the main roster tour, I think. This was a long time ago, but this was right before they put Pete Dunne over him. They called Tyler Bate late, and he made other plans, and that's what happened. End quote. Meltzer might be talking about an earlier tour, perhaps the post-WrestleMania UK tour, but I don't really recall anything else. Bate was on the UK tour in November, and that's when he was brought into 205 Live to lose to Enzo Amore. There was no follow-up storyline on that. At that point, I think it was obvious that something was up because he lost, and there was no storyline follow-up with Bate and Amore. Tyler Bate came on Twitter and says, don't believe everything you read, with a little laughing emoji. So according to Tyler Bate, there is no heat on him, according to Dave Meltzer, because Tyler Bate had 1 bad week in which he lost. Apparently he has heat with WWE management. It's just the wrong place at the wrong time. I wouldn't take it too seriously. Tyler Bate is a Triple H guy, so I do see things in the future for Tyler Bate. I'd love to see more of him, and not everybody can be featured at the same time as everybody else. Right now, WWE has a mentality that this Cruiserweight tournament is a big deal. They have their favorites in mind. Obviously, Roddy is a Triple H guy. I think Roddy's going to WrestleMania. I think Roddy's going to get his WrestleMania moment. Tyler Bate, unfortunately, just like Hideo Itami, was a casualty in that tournament. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal whatsoever. I would like to see Tyler Bate more on NXT, which we did. We did see him on NXT. He says he's going to get right back into the game. He's going to kill it this year. It's just the wrong place at the wrong time. 1 bad week doesn't mean burial, or 1 bad week doesn't mean you have heat with WWE management. We got 2 more stories here, and we're gonna get out of here. Like I said, I got no other news really. Matt Hardy officially owns the Broken Universe. After many months of legal battles, Matt Hardy is now officially the owner of all Broken Universe trademarks. Those trademarks include Broken Matt, Brother Nero, Broken Brilliance, and Vanguard 1. The paperwork to transfer ownership was signed by Ed Nordholm on January 8th, and ownership transfer was official as of January 31st. Perhaps that is why Matt has been teasing morphing from being woken to broken on social media. The issues between the Hardys and Impact are seemingly over. In fact, it looks like things were smoothed over a couple of months ago, and Hardy indicated as such when he posted a photo of himself with Mayor Owl himself, Ed Nordholm, on Twitter a couple of weeks ago. Impact is no longer playing hardball with wrestlers over ownership of their gimmicks. Part of the reason for this is because they want to change the perception of the company, and hopefully this will convince other talents to work with them. EC3, for example, was allowed to keep his gimmick as he has full ownership of it as he gets ready to make his WWE debut. And that probably has a lot to do with Don Callis and Scott D'Amore taking over. They just want a clean slate. They want an open invitation. They want a friendly environment, a very wrestler-friendly environment in Impact Wrestling. So they're allowing everybody to come and go as they please. They want to make everybody happy now as long as they get paid on time. Because I heard a rumor that people in the company are still having problems with being paid on time. I have not watched Impact since its revitalization with Scott D'Amore and Don Callis, nor do I care. I know I have talents over there that I definitely am interested in. Eli Drake, Johnny Mundo. I love Rosemary. But other than that, you're not going to get me to watch Impact Wrestling. It's fucking so subpar and so minor league. It's like, why would I put myself through that? You know? I also heard rumors of maybe Kevin Kelly and Don Callis doing play-by-play commentary. That might actually get me to watch because they're not a bad commentary duo. You know, Don Callis does it for New Japan. He's obviously in charge or partially in charge of, you know, what we see on television for Impact Wrestling. If he involves himself that way, we get some good creative. He gets his voice on the microphone. You bring Kevin Kelly in. You know, you have this this utilization of talents from other promotions. Maybe. You know, maybe. But right now, I'm not going to go out of my way to watch Impact Wrestling. I couldn't give a fuck. I really couldn't give two shits about Impact Wrestling. But it's nice to see that Matt Hardy now can put all this behind him and concentrate on his WWE run in the last years of his career. And everybody else that has worked with Impact Wrestling gets to keep their gimmick going forward. And everybody that wants to come on in, they don't have to worry about that because Impact is going to appease them the best way that they can. Shelton Benjamin finds a loaded gun in his rental car. Gonna end with this one. Former member of the world's greatest tag team recently tweeted out a picture of a gun with a caption reading, "Thank you, Budget, for your great service of putting my reputation, freedom, and quite possibly my life in jeopardy. I've unknowingly been driving your car for the last 4 days with a fucking loaded gun in the glove compartment." This could have been absolutely terrible for Shelton Benjamin. What if he got pulled over? What if he got pulled over and police and authorities found a gun without him knowing it was there? You know, the excuse of, well, I didn't know it was there, not going to work. They probably would have taken him in and there would have been a major issue. Could have cost him his job, could have cost him his life, you know. But this was ridiculous. This was ridiculous. It probably wouldn't have been registered to him, but probably the police wouldn't have found that to be a legit excuse that he didn't know it was there. Everything seems to be okay now. Benjamin will probably never rent from that car rental agency again, or he may never rent another car, period, without checking the entire car front to back for another loaded gun or paraphernalia that should not be there. Someone at the place that he rented this car from obviously might have some explaining to do, so they might want to check on that. So that's ridiculous. Randy Orton actually tweeted him, "Holy fuck, dude," when he tweeted a picture of the gun, which I do not have here, otherwise I would show you. But Shelton Benjamin, lucky to have walking away from this scot-free. This could have been much worse than it was. So good on Shelton Benjamin, and glad nothing happened to him in the end. Not his fault. Someone fucked up before him. That is off the script, guys. I really don't have anything else as far as news goes. Sorry for the short episode, but it is what it is. We ran through everything. Next week is another week. Starting with Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We'll see what happens going on into the weekend. Listen, guys, if you guys are listening to this on iTunes, I would greatly appreciate a 5-star rating. I don't push the podcast on iTunes enough. We are a 5-star rated podcast on iTunes. So if you guys are a listener of the podcast on iTunes and you do not watch it on YouTube, which is my main priority because that's how I make my money. If you guys are listening on iTunes and you enjoy the show every single week, make sure to do a 5-star rating. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys think of the show. Your feedback is awesome. And it really helps out the podcast and the ratings and the rankings and all that iTunes shit, which I really don't know anything of. But it's nice to see that you guys appreciate the podcast. We almost have 300 ratings. We are a 5-star rated podcast, and I greatly appreciate all the support you guys show off the script. Follow me on Twitter at JDFROMNY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell. Make sure all notifications for all uploads are on. Harrys.com/script. Audibletrial.com/off-the-script. Barbershopwindow.com/off-the-script. And if you guys want to support through the Patreon page, patreon.com/JD from NY206. I'm getting out of here. I'll see you guys tomorrow for Monday Night Raw. Hopefully it's a good show. We'll see what happens as we head towards the Elimination Chamber. I'll talk to you guys later.